Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has been one of the greatest gaming surprises for me in a while. Last week, I didn't even know this game was coming out. I was just blindly playing Oblivion when I got a notification on my phone. A friend of mine sent me a screenshot of a game I had never heard of with just straight up 9 and 10s out of 10s. I was skeptical, but I looked up some trailers online and God, was I blown away. No spoilers in this video. All gameplay shown is roughly the first 5 to 6 hours of the game. I have put roughly 30 hours into this masterpiece. Okay, I'm not really sure if it's a masterpiece just yet, but it's really damn close to what I would consider a video game being a masterpiece. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which I will just call Expedition 33 for the remainder of this video, is what happens when you put BioShock storytelling and Persona 5 gameplay and mix it up in a blender. Two of my favorite video games ever made put into an amazing package. Expedition 33. Not only was this game made by 30 something devs, most of which came from Ubisoft, but they dropped it at $50 and on Game Pass. All of this while Nintendo is shoving $80 to $90 games in our faces. It's honestly baffling and hard to believe that people are okay with spending that much money right now when games like this are coming out. And if you're a fan of new IPs and fun ideas in video games, then you should be happy that this game has become so successful, because playing through this game is truly a treat. The gameplay feels great, it's quick and snappy and very similar to Persona 5, but with more depth. For example, in Persona, each character plays roughly the same, just, different personas with different abilities. But in Expedition 33, each character has their own playstyle. It's refreshing to see this much uniqueness in a turn-based game. And it's so exciting when you unlock a new character because it feels like you're solving a puzzle. How does this character work? How can you synergize with other characters to deal max damage? And that's not even going into the Pictos system, which I also really enjoy. Pictos are equipment that your characters can hold, and they essentially give you perks. And once you have won 4 separate battles with a Pictos equipped, you unlock the perk permanently. But you have to use Lumina points to equip them. It's a very rewarding system that you can spend a very long time if you want to try and mid-max your character. And as a turn-based game enjoyer, this has been a blast to play through. I personally have never played a turn-based game that has the dodging and parrying of a Souls game. I'm not 100% sure if this is the first of its kind, but regardless, I love it. Some of the fights that you have in this game feel absolutely peak, and some of these enemies are huge and they have amazing looking combos.
Let's spill some ink.
And sometimes I'm just left at awe. Dodging 5 attacks in a row, I'm amazed by how fluid and beautiful everything looks. Remember guys, 30 people made this game. I just think it's such an amazing achievement to be made. Honestly, it's crazy to think that these devs that used to work on previous Ubisoft games have created something so unique as Expedition 33. It goes to show that the industry has talent, but many of them are likely held back by these major companies. So much of gaming has become battle passes, DLC, and remakes, so finally getting a new IP with a great story just hits in all of the right places. Graphically, it's a standout. Maybe it doesn't look as good as Cyberpunk 77, but the art style and the setting really push it to the next level. Some of these locales are breathtaking. You just know when the idea of something is just so unique, so inspiring, you're not really paying attention to its flaws. So many times I've come across things in this game that I'm just wondering and pondering about. Where did this come from? What's the story behind it? Who was here before me? This game does a wonderful job being unique enough to expand your imagination, but grounded enough that it feels familiar. It's a balance that not a lot of games have really accomplished in my opinion, which is why I compare it to BioShock. BioShock games have gave me the same type of wonder. Rapture and Columbia gave me the exact same feeling that I got when exploring Luminaire for the first time. If you play the first 30 minutes of this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you have Game Pass, I really suggest that you give it a shot. I mean, even Ken Levine is blown away by the opening of this game. I really want to tell you about the premise, the ideas of it all, but I'm not going to just in case you have not started this game yet. I suggest you go in as blind as possible and you just let the game tell its story. So far, what I have experienced reminds me of the good old days. And I know I keep talking this way, but it's hard not to express how much of a fresh of breath air Expedition 33 feels like. Just like when I played BioShock for the first time, I'm enthralled with this story. I care about these characters, I care about this setting, and as I learn more, I want to keep going through the story because I am so interested. I also can't forget to mention the music in this game. The soundtrack has been an absolute banger. There is a perfect mix between beautiful and serene music for intimate scenes and very hype music for epic fights. Best of all, Expedition 33 does not shy away from its silly side. Sometimes you can find yourself fighting some kind of joke enemy and the music matches it perfectly.
Let us stain them.
I love to see a game that can take itself serious when it needs to, but shows off its fun side from time to time. It is a video game after all, and that's exactly what it should be. Fun. This game is something special, and I'm doing my part to get the word out. I want this to be a smashing success because I want the gaming industry to know that this is what I and many other people want. We want fresh ideas, story-driven games with good characters, and a game that doesn't ask for 1,000 hours of our lives. And I know for a lot of people, turn-based games are not their cup of tea and maybe something that they steer away from. So the dodge and parry mechanics surprisingly feel like a Souls game, which I think will satisfy that itch for people who usually don't like turn-based games. Persona being a perfect example of a turn-based game that I would recommend to literally everybody I know, but my biggest issue with that game was the length of time. Beating Persona would take roughly 100 to 120 hours depending on your side content, and that's just a huge commitment for people. And I like that Expedition 33 can be 30 hours if you speed run through the story or 60 hours if you want to do all of the side content. In my opinion, this is the perfect length for a game, and I am going as slow as possible. Yes, I sometimes wish it was longer, but I'm really glad that this is roughly the amount of time it takes to beat this game. I think Expedition 33 will be game of the year this year. Yes, even with GTA 6 coming out, it's going to be very hard to beat, especially for me. Not only is it an underdog story about ex-Ubisoft devs that won against so many odds, but this is a new IP with a great story and innovative gameplay. And if this does not win game of the year, I will legitimately be a little disappointed, because this type of game is what we should be celebrating the most coming from the gaming industry. But in the end of the day, game of the year or not, it doesn't really matter. I think that Expedition 33 has set itself apart from so many other games and will be a part of the conversation when we talk about games that are masterpieces or games that are a piece of art. And I'm also happy to report that this is not an open world game, which was another huge win for me. Guys, I love this game so far, and I just really had to talk about it with someone. Let me know in the comments down below if you've started playing or if this video has convinced you to start. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I will see you next time.